My name is Muhammad Paul Mamakoko. In this video, I want to talk honestly about change. Not change as a theory, but change as something that I've actually lived through. When I look back at my life, the moments that shaped me most weren't the comfortable ones. They were the moments where the ground shifted under me and I had to figure out who I was going to be, to become on the other side. Uh, I've chosen three experiences to share. The first one is about changing schools um, and then changing universities. Two moves, years apart, but deeply connected. The second one is becoming a father, and the last one is stepping into leadership for the first time, leading a team I didn't build. Each one taught me something different about how to deal with change, and I'll share what I've learned, both for myself and for the way I work in an organization today. The first experience, changing schools and changing universities. My first big experience of change goes back to the beginning of 1999 when I was in grade 11, going to grade 11 actually. I left my school and moved to a brand new school in a different village in Limpopo. The reason was very simple but important. My old school didn't have a strong teachers for commercial subjects that I thought I wanted to do, like accounting and economics at the time. The new school was promising excellent matric results, so I made the move to the new school. Honestly, it was hard. I went from being comfortable, being known, to being the new kid in an unfamiliar environment. I had to rebuild everything: friendships, routines, a sense of belonging. And then something unexpected happened. The teacher at the new school looked at me and convinced me to switch streams entirely, away from the commercial subjects into the sciences: biology, physics, chemistry. At the time, it felt like changing direction on top of an already changing schools. But I trusted the process. I worked hard and I finished matric with great results. But that wasn't the end of it. In 2001, I went to Vista University in MadeWithGoogleVids and I enrolled for a general BSc degree there. One subject grabbed me completely. It was computer science. The problem was that Vista University didn't offer a full computer science degree at the time, and I knew that that's what the direction I wanted to commit to. So in 2002, I made a move again, this time to the University of Pretoria, to study computer science as a standalone degree on its own. This was the hardest change of the three. The two universities were worlds apart: different culture, different pace, different expectations. I struggled in my first year at the University of Pretoria. There were moments where I doubted whether I had made the right call, but I pushed through. And looking back, that decision set the entire trajectory of my career in data technology today. Everything I do today traces back to that one single choice I made in 2002. What links these two moves is this: both times I left something comfortable to go for something better, and both times the early days were genuinely tough before things came right. The pattern taught me to expect discomfort, not to mistake it for failure. That's my first experience. Now I'm moving on to the second experience, becoming a father. My second experience of change is becoming a parent. My first child was born in March 2012, my second one in December 2013, and my youngest in December 2017. Three children in the space of 6 years, and each one changed me. But the first that hit the hardest, and the fastest, the biggest shift for me was financial. The moment my first child was born, it clicked. I realized that the way I had been handling money up to that point simply wasn't going to be enough. I couldn't drift anymore. I had people depending on me. So I made drastic changes on how I managed my personal finances. I started learning, planning, budgeting properly, thinking in years ahead instead of month to month. And here's the thing about this change, it never really stops. As the children grow, their needs change. And so my approach has to keep evolving. Today, my finances are in the best shape they've ever been, and I genuinely enjoy continuing to learn and improve as the family changes and grows. What started as a panic turned into a discipline and into something I'm actually good at and proud of. What this has taught me is that the most powerful change isn't forced on you from the outside. It comes from a change in how you see yourself. The day I started seeing myself as a provider, my behavior followed. The mindset shifted first, and the habits just had to catch up with this new change. The third and final experience for me that I want to share is leading a team for the first time. My third experience is the most recent, and it's professional. It's when I stepped into my current role as head of analytics, leading a team of leading a team for the very first time. What made this so challenging was the specific situation I walked into. I wasn't going to build a brand new team from scratch. I was now leading a team of people who, the day before, had been my colleagues and, in some cases, genuinely workmates. The relationships didn't just reset because my title had changed. I had to navigate that shift carefully and respectfully. I learned quickly that inheriting a team is a completely different kind of leadership to building your own. When you build a team, you choose the people and shape the culture from day one. But when you inherit one, you have to lead what's already there. You have to understand the existing strengths and respect the history and build trust before you try to change anything. I couldn't just impose my way. I had to earn the right to lead and learn to build with what I had. It humbled me, honestly. My instinct as a technical person was to focus on the work. But leading people meant slowing down, listening more, accepting that getting the best out of others is a different skill to doing the work brilliantly myself. That's a transition I'm still growing into every day. And in closing, what I've learned, what these three experiences have taught me. On a personal level, three things stand out. First, the discomfort that comes with change is very normal. It's not a sign that you've made the wrong decision. The second lesson, the deepest change starts on the inside, with how you see yourself before it even shows up in your behavior. And thirdly, change never really finishes. It's something that you keep working at as life keeps on moving. And I can apply all of this directly into my organization. When I lead my team through change, new systems, new strategies, new ways of working, I expect the deep before the recovery. And instead of panicking when people struggle at first, I lead with empathy because I know change is emotional, not just logical. And because I've inherited a team myself, I lead by building trust first and changing things secondly. Change has shaped who I am